Roadblocks, sirens, and water. First, the roadblocks. According to multiple eyewitness survivors, in the midst of the chaos, as the fires ravaged the area around Lahaina and grew closer and closer, residents began trying to evacuate, most of them trying to use the main paved road out of town, Highway 30. But Highway 30 was blocked by a police barricade, and the residents were guided back into town and corralled down onto Front Street, being told that's where they'd evacuate from. Well, this is Front Street now. Very few of the people that were ushered into Front Street to evacuate were actually able to do so because of various police roadblocks, downed trees, downed power lines, and roads blocked by utility vehicles. The people that made it out did so by driving up onto the sidewalk, through yards, around police barricades, and on dirt roads to get up over the fires. Listen to these eyewitness accounts of what happened.
I was in my truck going to check on some customers' properties, and all of a sudden all the roads were being blocked off right in front of me, and from the cops, and I would go to the next street and that would be blocked off, and the next one, and they just blocked everything off, forced everybody down on Front Street, in which then the flames were coming over our vehicles, not on our vehicles, but the flames are coming over top of our vehicles.
And what street are you on at this point in time?
Front Street.
You're on Front Street
Yes.
itself?
Yep.
So you got directed onto Front Street?
Yep.
Where did you start when you started this journey?
I was going down the highway, and they blocked it off and wouldn't let me go any further. They stopped us from going up on the bypass. Then they wouldn't let me go past the bypass to the other exits to go up there.
So you couldn't go up the bypass?
No. And then all of a sudden they said, everybody's off, get off this highway, go down this way, down into town. Then they started blocking everything off there, and then you were down on Front Street, and I got all the way down to Safeway. And
so you got corralled onto
Yes.
Front Street. You
Yes.
started on Honopilani Highway.
Yes.
And you ended up on Front Street.
Yes. Couldn't go anywhere. They just said, go north, go north, go north. And then when we got on Front Street, embers were coming over the buildings and landing on our vehicles. And we're all in a line trying to get to the end of Front Street to go north, like they told us to, not knowing that the police blocked off the end of Front Street so nobody could move. And then everybody panicked, and they all started everybody went up on the sidewalks and through yards, took out the other lane. And then all of a sudden nobody could move anywhere. So all I did was try to inch my way over to another yard and drive up through a sidewalk, come back around, and then the cops were moving around one exit, so I ended up getting up on the highway, even though they tried to direct me another way, and then I hightailed it to home.
All the way from Safeway to the chart house, not one car had moved. And I was wondering what was stopping the traffic. Well, it was a policeman. And I got to the end and I looked up north, there were no obstructions, there was no reason to keep those cars there.
Are you serious?
I'm serious as a heart attack. And I said, what are you doing? He goes, well, I'm under orders to keep them here. And I said, the fire is right around Safeway. It's going to hit Front Street. You know, these people got to get out of here. And he said, I'm following orders.
No way.
And so I just kept walking. Well, maybe he knows something I don't.
When he was later heading home through Lahaina town just before 3 p.m., he hit this roadblock on the southbound highway at Kapuna Kea before the Cannery Mall. Herzog backtracked to where Front Street meets the highway. At 3:19, his camera shows a police vehicle blocking access to the highway at Papalaua. At 4:26, Herzog abandoned his car at Kingdom Hall and walked to Mala Wharf. The highway was completely shut down for 2.5 hours at Keawe Street until at least 5:24 p.m. Traffic routed towards Front Street. At 5:30, Herzog comes to the end of Front Street, and to his surprise,
it looks like two police vehicles parked kind of nose to that exit for Front Street, kind of at a V like this. The traffic had basically bottlenecked right there. So there were cars in both lanes trying to go north by this point. But everyone was stopped on Front Street right there.
Some of the roads weren't blocked by police, but by utility vehicles, supposedly repairing downed power lines. In a vacuum, this makes sense. It would be a terribly unfortunate series of events. Hurricane-force winds downing power lines in one area while fanning the flames of a dangerous brush fire in another. It could happen, and it almost certainly did, but that has nothing to do with Highway 30, the default route of escape out of the area to the north and south, a route that witness after witness after witness has now claimed was blocked by police vehicles and cones. With many people claiming the officers were directing traffic away from the highway, ordering vehicles to turn around. Just following orders, I'm sure. Those that disobeyed survived.